For a couple months this summer, I was feeling super creatively energized, and then the seasons changed, the time changed, and I just started to feel off. Some of my habits and routines started slipping. I was spending all of the workday in sweatpants and not really going outside. Today, I decided to unstuck myself. It's Friday, and I'm going to put on real pants and leave the house to do something just for me. But first, I'm going to make the bed and fold the laundry. I know that by keeping up with these small chores, I'll feel a tiny surge in motivation and hopefully less overwhelmed. Just going to wash my face, add some moisturizer, a little bit of makeup, and change these clothes. I have to run to the post office today to send a birthday present to a friend, and after that, I'm going to I think just head to maybe like a coffee shop and work on some writing. I have kind of fallen out of my writing habit a little bit that I started back in September. So I'm gonna try and get back on that. Leaving the house, I know, is gonna kind of jumpstart a better routine. So here we go. We're going to the post office, sending my friend a present, and yeah, then we'll find a coffee shop. I want to talk with you about kind of the ways that we get unstuck after we start to notice ourselves feeling stuck or feeling low energy. And I want to talk about it in a way that might be a little bit different than what you've heard before, but I've started to think about when I feel stuck, I started to reconceptualize that as abandoning myself. And what I mean by that is that somewhere along the journey, somewhere along the day or the week or the month, I've started to do things that make me feel disconnected from my true self and my body and my spirit and my creative practice. And I can abandon myself in so many different ways. The biggest one for me is overcommitting myself to external kind of commitments. So responsibilities at work, with friends, with family. I'll overcommit myself to everyone else, and I'll abandon myself in the process. I'll abandon all of my priorities and my goals and the things that make me feel good. In order to get back, after I've started to notice like, oh, I've abandoned myself over the past few weeks, how do I get back to center? That's kind of the conceptualization I have, is like getting back to center. So it's not about me wanting to be more productive or like able to get more done in a day. Like I don't need to be more productive. I just want to spend time on the things that are important to me. And I have to get back to center if I've abandoned myself along the path. So what you saw in the beginning of this video was me getting back to center. It was me like picking up all of the fragments of myself that I'd left in other places and doing something that was just for myself. As I just talked about, my trigger, one of my big triggers, is overcommitting myself to friends, family, and work. For you, it might be, spending money on things that you don't want to spend money on. That might be a way that, like, a trigger for you. Whatever it is that makes you feel you're no longer honoring yourself and your body and like your soul, notice those triggers and work to set boundaries to protect yourself in the future so that the likelihood of, feeling off center or like you've abandoned yourself is just decreased. The goal here is to obviously not abandon ourselves in the future. The next tip that I have is changing your environment. For me, it's leaving the house and walking to a coffee shop, but that can really help to just shake things up. Taking a walk, going somewhere else to work or to complete your tasks can really just help change your mindset. The next one is kind of in line with shaking things up, changing your environment, is shaking up your mind. And I do that by stream of consciousness writing. So that's kind of how I start every session when I go to the coffee shop, is I just start stream of consciousness writing, whatever comes to mind. Sometimes it's a whole bunch of complaining, or sometimes you just write the same sentence over and over again. But that can really help to just get whatever is going on in here out onto the page so that you can move on and work on the things that you want to work on. Another way to shake things up is actually moving your body. The Saturday after I went to the coffee shop, I did a really hard workout and I felt a lot better after that. I really like lifting weights and doing boot camp style workouts, so find whatever kind of movement you enjoy the most and makes you feel good, and do that thing whenever you're feeling stuck. The next tip I have is staying off your phone. Being on my phone a lot makes me feel extremely fragmented and disconnected from my body. So I've actually in the past couple months have logged off of all social media and deleted the apps off my phone. That's for me really the only way I've been able to thus far set boundaries with my phone, is to kind of quit cold turkey. I'll let you know if I'm able to find anything less severe than that, but if you struggle with spending a lot of time getting sucked into this phone vortex, I recommend doing whatever you can to get that device out of the picture. The last tip that I have is taking the next right step. And taking the next right step has been a theme for me in the past couple months. What I mean by this is, to get back to center, we need to do the things that ultimately make us feel centered. And for me, that is taking the next right step in my creative practice. Usually the next right step is something really super small. It's like washing my paintbrushes, prepping a canvas, organizing or sharpening my pencils, drawing one line. The next right step is usually something really easy and something that shouldn't take much thought. But oftentimes when you're feeling stuck, it just feels like an impossible task to take that next step. So I recommend having a list, next to your to-do list, a list of next right steps in your creative projects, your creative practice, so that you're never wondering what you should do next. I oftentimes find that I have the hardest time getting started when my next actions list is empty, because I don't know what to work on next. So coming up with those next steps, smallest steps you can take, can really help you to get moving and to get started on those projects that are meaningful to you. That's my list of the things that you can do to get centered after you've noticed that you have abandoned yourself in some way. I hope that you found it helpful, and I'll see you next week. Leaving the house, and this is my kitty in the window taking a little nap. Oh, isn't she precious? Oh my gosh, so cute. Love you. Bye.